Do you like the show and you want to make your own? Well, let me tell you about Anchor. It's free. They're creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And now you can even add any song from Spotify directly to your episodes. The possibilities are endless for what you can create. Now, Anchor is going to distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. And you can make money from your podcast. No minimum listenership needed. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
Welcome into the May 25th edition. It is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. I said earlier on Twitter, and I mean it, today's bittersweet because final day for Team Courier. We got the entire family in here. Jason Courier, of course, Marshall Sports Information Director. Until what time officially? Is it over? Is it officially over now?
You know what? Actually, I think 4:30 p.m. is the end of the workday officially at Marshall University.
Okay.
So it's 5:06, the start of the show. As I believe I'm on overtime right now, Paul. We don't get overtime. So I'm here off. I'm unemployed right now, Paul.
You're unemployed.
I mean, really, if you
so that means you can just start spilling all the beans.
Actually, I take that back. I'm on the payroll for right. I think of the way that works, right, with your vacation time you have left. So I'm on the payroll actually for another month or so.
Okay, so you can't break any secrets.
I
just
can't
yet.
really.
Any NDA stuff.
I'll be honest with you though. We were here yesterday, 45 minutes with athletic director Christian Spears, and I feel like he volunteered quite a bit. So
he's good at that. I hope that continues with your absence. I hope that continues.
I think so. And so to plug the Paul Swann Twitter account, for those of you who missed yesterday's show, if you go to @Paul Swann, I believe he tweeted the link to the show yesterday. Right. Nearly all of the questions that were submitted to you on Twitter, I feel like nearly all of them were addressed in some way, shape, or form. So for any listeners who were curious what Christian had to say to give an update on Thundering Herd Athletics, go to twitter.com/Paul Swann.
You're good at this. I think the only question we didn't get from him yesterday, it's probably on me, to really just say, hey, by the way, what's the end zone going to look like specifically? The party deck. The party deck.
And he would be best to speak to this. He certainly could, probably in more detail the next time you have him on.
Right.
I can tell you that's still on the what do you call it, the drawing board.
Right. The wrecking ball's not going down next week to knock that end zone down.
No,
by the way, you knew that once I heard the erector set was going down, I would be the happiest human being in Huntington.
Right. For those listeners who may not know, over the years, I may or may not have been on the other end of various text messages. I was the text line before the text line.
You were.
Occasionally.
You were.
And
the laptop is open during the show just to make sure.
Sometimes giving constructive feedback. Sometimes it was less constructive, But,
I don't think it was bad.
No, it was never bad.
It wasn't bad.
It was just.
I've seen some of your texts to other people. I really was never on the bad end of it.
Never. But again, and I'm going to say this probably several times here today, but thank you again for all of your coverage for the 11 years that I've been here. For not just football and men's basketball, but for all of our sports. That's something that is not lost on me. That's something that I've reminded our coaches and staff numerous times when we talk about media opportunities in our market, and a big part of that is the drive. And so again, want to thank you for all the guests you've had, all the guests you're going to have, and we will do our best to keep track and keep updated.
So I'll be, I guess, here in a few weeks, be booking some Tulane guests as well. Is that going to be a new role, just to show how effective you are in your job?
If you think that there's a market for that some people in the Big Easy want to come on in the tri-state area right here on the Kindred Communications family of stations, so I'm happy to make that happen. I don't think we have a student athlete from this area. I'll have to do more, take a deeper dive into the rosters. But if that is the case, I promise you, if any of the tri-state student athletes make their way down to the Big Easy and Tulane University, they will make an appearance, at least a few, on this very program.
So Jason Corris with us, Marshall Sports Information Director. He's got his family here today.
Yep.
He's got Gaff right here on the microphone. Now,
Yep.
If you don't know, if you haven't followed over the years, Gaff is sort of an internet superstar because he's at almost every single Marshall event. He's been maybe the unofficial mascot of Herd Athletics for a long time. Also, he has been telling so many jokes. Is that going to continue, and you're going to up your game when you get into the Big Easy?
You know, we've kind of gotten out of the joke game.
No more jokes, Gaff?
Have we not?
We kind of have, I have to say. Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing.
That's
all
okay.
right.
You know, a lot of people in this building don't know what they're doing.
That's
either.
all right. You know, would you? How many of sporting events, Gaff, do you think you've been to in your lifetime here in the Huntington tri-state area?
I would say about a few hundred.
A few hundred. Let's appeal. Yep, we've gone to the boss.
Just a few hundred?
We've gone to the boss. A few hundred sounds about right, maybe.
I think it's been more than that.
I don't know.
I know softball, adds numerous games. So
Yeah, it's been certainly as he has gotten older and he's playing sports himself, and of course now school is in the picture. That kind of cuts into the attendance to some degree.
Yeah.
But we've done our best. I feel like we've done our best to support get as many sports as we can here. All sports at Marshall.
Pretty much. This was a big deal for you and the family to be this is not just a job when you got here, because how old are you now, Gaff? You're 9.
Yeah,
That's
he was born here.
He was born here.
Born here at Cabell Huntington Hospital, July 19th, 2012. And yeah, so it was a big deal. Certainly moving. We spent 4 years. Kim and I spent 4 years at Ohio University, fall of 2007 to spring 2011, and moving here, the chance to work with a bigger staff, certainly, and with a Conference USA, certainly that was rip roaring at the time, and it was a no-brainer for me, certainly. And I just, through 11 years here, we've seen so much, right? We saw all those bowl games, all those bowl victories, winning the 2014 Conference USA Championship, and of course, Paul, we won a national championship here at Marshall University.
in soccer,
in men's soccer, and you're an alum. I want to get your take on this, right? So, let me ask you this: did you think? Now, I know you had watched us win. You'd watched Marshall University win national championships, right, in football in 1992, 1996.
Right, I was there
at the FCS level in the stadium. But at the highest level, the highest level of any sport. Did you think it would ever happen here, at Marshall?
Not right away.
Right.
Not right away, because I knew it would be difficult in football and basketball. Those are going to be always difficult because it's so competitive and you have to be perfect. And when you're at Marshall's level, you have to be perfect and then some to even get into the conversation. Look at Cincinnati, everything that the Bearcats had to do to get into the conversation.
Yep.
And so the other sports, you think, okay, maybe you have a chance. Tennis,
Yep.
Tennis has been successful over the years. You think maybe there's a shot there.
Golf's a small roster.
You're right. You also have softball, which has been very good for years. So, okay, maybe there's a chance there. But men's soccer, you think, no, this isn't the sport. And then you see what a brand new facility
Yep.
brought to that program, revitalized it, recreated it. Then you bring in a top-level coach to take over.
They did.
And next thing you know, Huntington has a passionate soccer fan base now, because here is something that we've seen. Marshall can be really good if the right circumstances present themselves, and you put the support into it. Hey, Marshall can be good at a lot of things. Soccer is just an example of that.
Right, and I know when I got here, right, it was at Sam Hood Field, right, and the Chris Klein Indoor Athletics Complex did not exist yet, and so Sam Hood Field was in that space. And I remember when I got here in 2011 and seeing that facility, and Sam Hood and I talked about that. He was in our office after we won the national championship last year. It was kind of interesting and cool to talk to Sam Hood about Sam Hood Field, and I said, Sam, no offense, but when I got here, to see where we were when I got here in the fall of 2011 to then winning the national title 10 years later, it's amazing, and as you said, Paul, finding the right coach, with Chris Grassi and who had the right contacts, and certainly the growth that we've seen in that program. And I made sure to call every head coach before the Tulane news came out. And I think maybe you and I have talked about this. I am a firm believer in, as much communication as possible. It grinds my gears to no end when people just leave jobs and they don't say, people you've worked with maybe for a decade or more, who just leave and don't say anything. No bye, no handshake, not even a text, not even an email. Just poof, they're gone one day. And I vowed, I think I told Kim several times, I was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to leave here, but if I do, I'm going to get in front of as many people as possible. And I was able to do that. And I didn't bat 1,000, but I made my best effort to do that. And so, but one of the things I did before that news came out is I wanted to make sure I called every head coach, just to, give them the news before they heard it elsewhere. And I was able to do that. And when I called Chris, I said, Chris, man, thanks for everything you've done for us. I said, Chris, you brought us a national championship at Marshall, and he said, I know. He said, I'm just sad you're not going to be around for the next one,
Nice. He's like, yeah, I hate the fact you're not going to be here for the next one.
And that typifies who he is, right? That's his approach. And like when he says that, sure, he says that to get a chuckle, but he's dead serious. Make no mistake. And I know, former athletic director Mike Hamrick talked about that. When he was here, that was, that's what he said when he hired him. Was like, I think it might take us this amount of time to get to, the College Cup, but I think we can probably win it this year. And so he knew. I don't know that how many outside of his, nucleus knew, but he knew. Chris did. Where the program was headed and what we were going to see here, and he made a believer out of me, man. He did, and all credit goes to him and his student athletes, some of whom my family's grown really close to over the years. Again, for those fans, for those listeners maybe who haven't been to a soccer game, a men's or women's soccer game this year. The facility is such you can get right there behind the benches now. We moved those benches over across the field, and our benches are right there in front of the main grandstand. And you can get right there. And certainly, as we were coming back out of COVID, right? COVID kind of threw a wrench into that, but it's a great atmosphere, and it's great for families. And so I think my family, Gaff, and my wife Kim, we've gotten to know those student athletes really closely, and so. That's part of what makes this difficult, right? Is that they've graduated, some of them they're going home, and so we're leaving when they're not. But it's it's all part of the relationships that you built here, and that's been a big part for us.
The big one I'm guessing is going to be Tony Kemper and the Marshall women's basketball team. Tony and I have talked. I've joked with him. First of all, what's going on here? You're losing your guy here.
And credit first has to go to Matt Daniel, who was the head coach of our Marshall women. And when we made some staff when I promoted Carly Weisenbach from our women's basketball SID to our men. We were also going through we were turning graduate assistant positions into full time. But 4 graduate assistants became 2 full-time people, which was great, but it also meant going from 4 bodies to 2. And so then kind of backfilling that women's basketball spot, we didn't really have an immediate answer there. And I just remember going to Matt and saying, Matt, well, the fall's over, so I'm going to jump in with you in January, and Matt's initial reaction was, well, we don't drive, we don't fly everywhere. And I'm like, I can ride a bus.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
I mean, but, so give credit for him for welcoming me to that bus and then on all those trips. And Tony Kemper, as he took the program, and as I think when Tony took the reins, I was able to add some play-by-play duties on the road with the Cutting Edge Sports Radio Network. As you're an alum here, I don't know if you've talked about that on these airwaves.
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
We do. I try to keep the professor happy at all
Sure.
times.
WMUL, I've been able to do that for 5 years. Again, it's road conference games and anything that comes up in the postseason. It comes out to about anywhere from 9 to 10, 11 cracks at it a year. So I don't get too many reps, but I try and I've really enjoyed, honestly, stepping on the other side of our business, right? And what broadcasters truly need to do the job. And you can be in this business for 20 years and think you know what the media truly needs, but then to step outside and actually be media and understand what people need to do the job, that's been one of the most invaluable things about the last 5 years, was being able to do that with this program. And yes, getting to learn all of our student athletes and basketball, and be the way my year is laid out for the last 7 years, working with football primarily in the fall, jumping in with basketball for 3 months, and then, in the spring, I'm able to kind of plug holes through the spring and again, just so many, all the relationships with coaches and student athletes and staff members that we made here, through 11 years, that's a lot of people, but you've been a constant, Paul.
I've been here.
You've been here the whole way.
I was here, even when I was unemployed eventually. Yeah, you were like, okay, there's this unemployed guy. What's he want? Where do you work again? I'll be working here in 6 months, Jason. Don't you forget my credential.
It's been good, and I'm happy. Again, like I said, credit goes to you and everybody here at Kindred for having our people on in the morning, having our people on in the afternoon, sometimes having our people on in the morning and the afternoon. I think we've probably done that a few times.
Yeah, we have.
Day, So, but again, you guys have been a great partner throughout our time here, and I know the people in that building in Shuey hope that it continues.
We're going to take our first commercial break because I've got to pay the bills here. You
Sure.
know what that is all about.
Absolutely.
We will continue here. Paul Swann, your host. I've got Jason Courier. I've got Team Courier. Hashtag Team Courier with us here in studio. This is Jason's final day. Actually, you'll start. You're leaving Huntington when?
Tomorrow afternoon.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is truly. You're out.
Trivia question one day. What was Jason Coyer's last act as Marshall SID? Well, it was on The Drive with Paul Swann.
Of course it was. Of course it was. More coming up. It's The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back. Paul Swann, your host. It is the Wednesday edition, The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Jason Courier is with me, the SID of Marshall University until the vacation time runs out. Then we can officially fill his position.
Yeah.
So officially, you're on vacation now until it all runs out.
I think we need to break some news on this program.
Oh, let's do that, because yesterday we broke some news about the black turf.
We did.
The end zones, the turf being, black in the end zones,
Yep.
which that was very popular on the Twitters.
Yep. I think we need to break some news on this program, and I think your listeners need to know that there's been, I think the first member of the SID search committee was named at around 6:02 p.m. yesterday, was it not?
I think that's when it came out, yes.
I think it was. Folks, Paul Swann, Christian Spears has named Paul Swann, I believe, member number 1 of the SID, the Marshall Sports Information Director search committee. And so, what's your criteria for the search committee, Paul?
Let's see. What did you do again?
Honestly, people are still asking now, 11 years later.
Like, can we get? Yeah, let's get some of that. Yeah. What did you do again? Okay, we want that. Look, I want color in the game notes. Okay, that's the high criteria here. Like, look, you were averse to color in the game notes.
Game notes.
Game notes.
I mean, that's kind of a battleground right now, Paul. I got to be honest with you. Like, at first it was, let's stop printing the game notes, right? Because we don't want to kill that many trees.
Yeah.
But there's a movement, Paul, that maybe SIDs are spending too much time on the game notes themselves.
What? What?
The business is evolving, and so, that's on the table now for discussion. So, and Kim will attest, for football, Sunday night. I knock it all out Sunday night so that it's ready to go first thing Monday morning. Like if I get myself behind during the week if it's not done Sunday night. Like I get some coffee, I put Sunday night football on in the background, and I just grind it out, And so I've done that to make sure I'm not taking away office time doing that. But I think most people in the football world, that's what their schedule is Sunday night, Sunday night. That's game notes night. So
you're not going to miss that, are you, though? In this new
no,
role?
Tulane's going to be the same schedule.
Okay.
Kind of, yeah, no, it's all good. But again, let's not gloss over it. Search committee. I mean, maybe you'll be the chair. I don't know.
That would be nice if I was the chair.
I think Chuck McGill's probably going to be at the controls of that.
Okay,
but,
so he's good. Maybe he's the chair.
Maybe he will be. But I
Right.
got to tell you, like, I didn't meet with any media members on my interview process 11 years ago. So if we have any applicants out there, any candidates, just know that you might be sitting across the desk from one Paul Swann.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
because what does a sports information director do in 2022? What's the job?
Yeah, I mean, so when I got here, right, 11 years ago, it was some of the basics. Now, right, it was arranging the interviews. It was helping to manage the content on herdzone.com. We're the spokespeople. We do all this, and we like I said, arrange all those interviews, which that's evolved with Zoom, and I think it's been better with Zoom. This very program has taken advantage of Zoom access.
I love Zoom. I love Zoom
Absolutely.
access because you can do more from afar. You can do more.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure that's going to draw back a little bit now that we're getting closer to
I know
truly in
this.
person again.
We're going to use it at Tulane University. That's one thing I'm going to talk to them about. And I think even as COVID has hopefully gone into the rearview mirror, certainly at road games, post game for road games. Over the summer, I think we'll start to use that more because when your student athletes are gone, football's here quite a bit during the summer, but some of your other sports, the student athletes aren't here all summer. So now we have the opportunity to really get them, on quote unquote camera, or at least recorded for your purposes, whereas maybe that wasn't possible before. And so I think that's something that we're going to look forward to. But that's where the job began, that kind of skill set. And now I think is in terms of my title down there at Tulane is going to be strategic communications. If you're scoring along at home, the business went from sports information, years and years ago, to media relations, to athletic communications, and now a lot of places are referring to it as strategic communications. So that's kind of the chronology of the nomenclature of what we do, right? So that's going to be my title down there, strategic communications. And so, again, the business has evolved more to, you have to be in Twitter. You have to be on top of your Twitter game. Instagram was something that I didn't really do a whole lot with personally. And I've as you've seen it.
You're there.
Over the last couple of years, I've ramped up the Instagram, the Insta, right? What they call
IG,
right?
IG, yes.
You got Christian Palmer behind the glass here, right? Did they get it right?
Well, actually, he's a YouTuber.
Okay.
He's more of a YouTuber.
I got you. Now, as you've noted before, I still have a long way to go on
the TikTok.
On TikTok, I've not.
Could your son help you with the TikTok?
Yeah, he's got more of a TikTok personality. I got to be honest with you. I don't really have the TikTok gear. Maybe I've got to get it, but I'm happy to. I got to start somewhere, right? But people dance on TikToks, right? And there's singing on TikTok.
You could lip sync. You could do that.
I could.
Your son can help you. And look, you've already done some TikTok-like videos on your Facebook page. For example, let's go back a couple of years and talk about how many cheese balls were in the container.
All the cheese balls. Yeah,
yes.
that was one of the best. That was some of the best content out there.
That's Insta right there.
It was.
Definitely, or TikTok content.
Yeah, and for those people maybe who know what Paul's referring to.
Yes,
right?
inside joke here.
Inside, yeah. We'll bring it out. Right, we had a big bucket of cheese balls. I won't give the brand name necessarily, but we had a big bucket of cheese balls that was unopened, and so we asked our Facebook followers, Facebook friends that I had, how many cheese balls are in this bucket? We didn't know. And so that was part one, was everyone put their guess in. Part two was the big reveal of how many cheese balls are in there. And that's when Gaff took the reins there, and he gave an entire presentation of how many cheese balls.
It was a huge presentation.
And as I believe I said on the video, in classic Courier fashion, he took a 90-second video and made it a good 3 minutes and 30 seconds, but he gets that honest, So it was a good time. It was a good time and had a lot of fun with it.
And you told him also to wrap it up. He was losing.
Yeah, he was. I mean, exactly. Like people now. Like, everybody's like, this guy's rambling on.
Okay, but why don't you do that with Huff?
Yeah.
I mean, we can say that now. It's like, hey, look, Coach, you're losing the audience. Let's wrap that comment up. You're going 2 minutes. We need a 30-second sound back. Morehouse needs 15. Swann can use 30. You think Grant's going to transcribe 2 minutes? Come on, Coach. Let's get in and out with those comments.
Charles has been great for our brand. Charles loves to talk to you guys, and I've told him a couple of times on the way out, make sure he keeps that gear, right? He's been a wonderful representative for our football program. It's been a short time with him for me, obviously, but he's been great to work with. He really has. He understands what you do. He appreciates what everyone on the media side, what they need, and I can't thank him enough for that. So it's something I wish him and his staff the best moving forward. Certainly this year with the move to the Sun Belt, and you and Christian talked about it yesterday. There's so much excitement within our athletic department about the move to the Sun Belt. And I think we're talking about this football season. Yes, there's the Notre Dame game, right? Everyone's talking about that, as they should.
Huge game.
Huge game. But also, there are 3 huge games in Jones C. Edwards Stadium this year, with Appalachian State, Coastal Carolina, and Louisiana, and those are going to be gigantic contests for in-conference play. Now, the unfortunate part of that is we have to go to those places next year.
Right.
We'll handle next year.
Yeah,
right?
well, Marshall will. You'll be at Tulane. You don't have to worry about it. You're good.
But I think there's a lot of excitement for this year. Certainly, I think the defense is going to be one of the best in conference Conference USA in the Sun Belt. Right. We have one. I believe Marshall University has one of the top running backs in the country. Rasheen Ali, certainly the quarterback position, right? We'll see what we get there.
You've got 12 of them, I think, right now.
And then the offensive line, I think we're working to fill some of those holes through the portal, right? Maybe we've seen that a couple of times over the last couple of weeks. So I think the pieces are coming together. I really do, and I think there's a lot. There's a lot of excitement for this season, and it's well deserved.
Going to take a quick timeout, come back. We've got more coming up. It's The Drive. Paul Swann, your host. I've got Jason Courier, the SID of Marshall University, for a short time longer until the vacation time is all exhausted. And I've also got Gaff, his son here, who is surprisingly quiet. We're going to change that when we continue here on this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Paul Swann, your host for this edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We're having fun here today with Jason Courier, who is leaving Marshall to take a position at Tulane. So the entire family is in here with us, and of course that includes Gaff, who just asked off the air, hey, can I talk more? So Gaff, go ahead. What would you like to talk about here today? What are some of your favorite moments growing up around Marshall athletics?
Well, I extremely like that I was here to be around for the things like the national championship soccer win, and I feel like there was one specific football game that it was a field goal by Justin Rohrwasser. I do believe does not play currently for the Marshall Thundering Herd anymore, but
do you remember who that game was against?
Western Kentucky University, which the name of that specific university has a little bit of a story/joke behind it in the Courier household.
Okay.
Is this a funny joke?
What do you call Western Kentucky University?
Let's hear this.
Wakoo.
What do you call Western Kentucky University? Wakoo.
I think I was late to the party on that.
Yeah.
I think maybe when I got home one day, it was a lot of wakoo. And I'm like, I just said, who's wakoo? What's wakoo? Is that a play? Should I know Waku? And
He's like, Dad, we're playing them.
I guess so.
We're playing Waku. What are you talking about?
But that game was amazing because if you remember, right, he made 3 straight, I believe it was 53-yard field goals. You know, they called timeout twice and got the last one to go through.
Do you believe that's correct?
Yep.
So that was your favorite football moment. Here's a better one. I can't wait to get the ranking on this. Who's your favorite coach? Who's the favorite of all the coaches? Who's your favorite? Is it Tony Kemper? Is it John Mercer? Is it Ari Agnes? I mean, is it Jeff Wagner? Is it Charles Huff right now? Who's your favorite coach of all time? Or who's your favorite coach?
I mean, I hate to pick favorites, but
But you're going to have to now.
yes.
You're on the spot.
I would have to say it would be Doc Holliday.
Doc's your favorite.
Because to hold a job, any job for like 10, 11 years is quite the feat, and I think he did very well as the coach of the Thundering Herd.
Did you get him to laugh at your jokes?
Oh, all the time.
Okay, so there you go.
And it did happen. I watched it happen. Kim watched it happen a few times. It happened. For those listeners who you maybe can't envision that.
Breaking news: Doc Holliday has a sense of humor.
Remember the ship joke? SHIP, the ship joke.
I do remember that joke.
Yep. So, well, go ahead and tell that one. Right? What was the joke? You asked Coach Holliday. Might help here.
What's the best kind of ship?
Oh,
Here we go.
what is the best kind of ship?
I don't know. What is the best kind of ship?
A championship.
A championship.
And then he said, "That's right. If you win a championship, you'll have a lot of friends." You know.
That's how it works. If you win a championship, you'll have a lot of friends. So that's your favorite coach, your favorite moments in football. So I'm detecting a theme here. Football is where it's at for you.
Yes.
But what sport have we been playing quite a bit of the last couple of years?
Soccer seems to be my thing.
You're wearing the 2020 National Champion Soccer shirt right now. Soccer camp. So he's going to miss the ID camp.
Yeah, that's
That could impact his recruiting to Marshall Soccer.
We're going to check out the Louisiana soccer scene. You know, Tulane does not have softball, does not have either men's or women's soccer. We're going to check out the youth soccer scene in Louisiana and New Orleans, see what that's all about, you know? So, we'll see.
I like how he's raising his
Yeah,
hand.
raise it. Go ahead.
Yeah, go
Yes,
ahead.
sir.
Yeah.
Speaking of sports, I would also like to check out the esports.
Esports, you know, Paul, that's a thing now, right?
And that's going to happen at Marshall, right?
Esports. We actually, in kind of the last 2 or 3 months here, we've checked out the esports scene, and you know, more and more schools now are bringing esports into their fold. You know, officially as part of like you know, the NCAA does not have like an official competition yet, but it would not be a stretch at all, right, for there to be an official, you know, championship one day, you know, where it's televised, certainly for esports.
The Fortnite Championship
Absolutely
belongs to Marshall University.
Yep.
Actually, that's already been done. There have been esports championships that have been televised.
Right.
I'm
just talking about like the NCAA, like where one
okay.
day Marshall's 17th sport, right? The Thundering Herd's 17th sport becomes the esports team.
Yeah.
And they're off competing at NCAA national. That's what I'm talking about.
I would be happy if we somehow move back for some reason. I would happily join that team if I could.
What about Tulane? What if Tulane does that? You join it there?
They're gonna have to fight over me.
Okay, there
More
you
breaking
go.
more breaking news.
Breaking
on the
news,
drive.
right? So his early picks are Marshall and Tulane for his recruitment, and he'll be able to take his first official visit here in a few years.
There you go. There you go.
Jason Corrier is with me, Marshall Sports Information Director. The family's here as well because, well, it's a package. You know, we're losing 3, not just 1, 3 great people. We're going to wrap it up when we continue with this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
It's our final segment on today's edition of The Drive. Paul Swann, your host here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our producer this afternoon, Christian Palmer, who is a little giddy with excitement. He's wearing his Pittsburgh Pirates gear because the Pirates won. Congratulations, Christian. They won a series. Congratulations. You know, he's not allowed to wear Pittsburgh Penguins gear anymore. He came in here first day trying to, you know, wear all the things that would tick me off. Steelers gear, Penguins gear, all of that. Just to irk me. So he's no longer allowed to wear Penguins gear, and he knows why. Win a series, and then against my team, and we'll talk. We found out your son, by the way, is a Rangers fan, so that's great parenting by your wife.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
You know, we can't get them all right.
Right,
you
exactly.
Know? I mean, but you know, I'll be honest with you. I have not had a chance to watch too much NHL this year. The first Hurricanes game I got to watch may or may not have been in the playoffs this year. But hey, what better time to jump on board?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, on vacation.
Sure.
Yeah,
right.
as your wife does all the preparing for you to move, you
Absolutely.
can sit back and
I've got to take care of the important stuff.
Right.
Just making sure we do our best to get a world title, you know, down the stretch there. So, yeah, no, it's been good to catch up with that, certainly. You know, 2-2 again, Hurricanes.
Right.
Rangers, I believe that series is going to
Carolina.
Back to North Carolina.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes.
Game 5 tomorrow right here, 6:30 p.m. on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Oh, the game airs right here?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, there's a couple games every week that air on national radio.
Sure.
The Pirates so happen to be off tomorrow, so
Okay.
and we're going to carry that game.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love it.
so we've got that, and I'll be thinking of you, and I'll be thinking of your wife. As you know, it's going to be sad to not have a Rangers fan in town. It's just going to be me, Cornwell, and maybe probably a couple other people now.
I think they're out there.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think maybe sometimes the impression that people have is there maybe aren't that many New Yorkers in the tri-state area. I'm not sure that's true.
So I'm doing well with the New Yorkers
I
right now.
think
Yeah,
so.
I'm big here. Yes, Gaff. Gaff, I love him.
Another hand raise.
I mean, maybe I can get Spears to raise his hand when he's got something to say when he's in here.
Sure.
I just want to say that, as my dad said, due to his lack of NHL, I think he got it wrong because I believe the Rangers are going to win that series, if I do say so myself.
They
Ooh,
could. They
okay.
may.
All
They
right.
could. If it goes down like it did last night, that's a factual statement.
All right, there you go. I like this. I like this. So you're leaving town tomorrow. Is it permanent leaving, or are you be coming back and forth between the next bit?
You know, so for me, it's going to be permanent leaving, right? We're going to go to the beach. We're going to squeeze in some beach time. North Myrtle, that's the state beach of West Virginia.
Yeah, it
if I'm not
is. It
mistaken.
is.
Myrtle, North Myrtle, that area.
Right.
So we're going to do that for about a week, and then we're going to drive down from North Myrtle to New Orleans on Thursday, June 2nd. That's going to be a long day in the car, but going through the part of the country that, you know, don't always get through. So, and then a big HR day on Friday the 3rd for me. And then they're going to be looking at places down there for us to live. You know, we did not get a chance to get down there and look at places beforehand, so we're going to do that that weekend. And then the two of them are going to come back, a little bit maybe middle of next week, and start getting the move together. Kim's done a great job. And again, you know, for anybody who doesn't know this, in athletics, and like we work pretty intimately with football, right? In athletics, the job that, you know, significant others do, right, in what we do, whether it's football, basketball, anything, but especially in football, right, the wives and the girlfriends and significant others, like, they are such a tremendous part of the backbone of the operation. And that has been, anybody who's known me, you know, I've been upfront about that the whole time. My wife, Kim Corrier, I refer to as my director of life operations, because she is in so many ways, and keeps us going, keeps us organized. And anyway, that's what she'll be doing. The two of them will be coming back here to get all those ducks in a row, and then they might head up to New York to see her parents for maybe a week. And so they may not actually be down to New Orleans, so maybe the 3rd or 4th week of June. So, but anyway, but that's fine too, because that I can tell you firsthand. Those first couple of weeks on the job, as Christians talked about that too here with you, is until your family's down there, you're taking full advantage of grinding 15, 16-hour days.
What else do you have to do?
Yeah, and so to be able to do that in June, or chance at a time when it's pretty quiet, typically in a college athletics. One thing I have to do down there is to just go meet a lot of people. I have to go meet the Paul Swann down there in New Orleans, and see who that is.
Yeah, and I've got to talk to that guy.
Exactly.
Like, look, this is what you need to do. This is how you treat Mr. Corey.
Right, and so like you've got to meet everybody in that market and find out who the movers and shakers
Right, yeah,
are.
you got to meet the Keith Morehouse of Tulane Athletics. You've got to meet the Mark Martin of Tulane Athletics.
Absolutely. And the bowl helped with it. Don't get me wrong. The bowl helped with that
Yeah.
last year. But still, you're only meeting a fraction of those people. So that's probably going to be my first, say, 20, 25 days down there, is just meeting as many staff members as I can. And vacation's a big factor in that too. You're not going to meet everybody, because June and July, that's when that happens.
Yeah, people are taking off.
But certainly, the media in that market and everybody there, the staff, and so that's going to be really what I do. It's just, I don't know how much time I'll be in the office, because I might be driving around meeting as many people as I can.
Right.
So we'll see how that goes.
Just Corey with me. He's got the family in studio as well. This will be your final time on the show.
Maybe not.
Until the next time.
Sure.
Until the next time. It's going to be bittersweet, because you work with someone for so long and you become friends with them, and you're a genuine human being. Your whole family is. You're not just someone who does this as a job, and you turn off the office light and you're done, and you're done with everybody with the rest of the day, and you're just, whatever happens. I'll be back in the office tomorrow.
Yep.
You've been here a long time, been a part of the community, been a part of a lot of people's lives. You've been with us, all of us personally, when there are ups and downs as well. So it's very bittersweet, but at the same time, it's exciting, because you're going to get to start a new journey, being in a great city, great university, and hopefully bigger and better things are coming. But it is sad, because there have been a lot of people who have come and gone.
Sure.
But you've been here so long and been such an important part of this community. I don't think people realize how much you integrated and became, not just, hey, I'm here to do the job, great. No, you're part of the community, family, and it's just it's very hard to say goodbye. But really, is it goodbye, or is just we'll see you soon?
I think we'll see it soon. I think, and you're exactly right. Like that's. I'm one thing I'm proud about, and I said this, a couple of times over the last week. The reaction, the outpouring of support that we've gotten since that news came out, and again, it made me so happy to see so many people talk about family and our family, Gaff, Kim, and everybody and all three of us. Like, that's how we do it, and that's what I told Tulane. I was like, you're getting me officially, but you're getting all three of us, and they'll see. They may not see that until we get to the fall,
right?
But like. That's how you have to do it in college athletics. And I think, you look at this role, the sports information director. I was able to put in 11 years here. Randy Burnside, my predecessor, he was here, I think maybe 15 years in that role. He was a GA before that. So to have two people come close to 30 years, at the mid-major level, you're not going to see that. You don't see that too much,
No.
In the support staff level, where there's so much of a grind, but it's been so rewarding, and I will this area has changed my life. I became a father here, and I met so many great people, and this is an area that and a part of my life that I'll look back on with so many fond memories.
Honestly, you're just training to become the new. You're taking over after Christian Spears, right? Is it basically that the path to come back?
I don't know.
When Spears is done,
The
you.
athletic director game is a whole different ball game, certainly than what I'm doing. And I'm right now. My focus is trying to be the best at what I can for Tulane University, and trying to grow my skill set to match an evolving landscape that is communications in the athletics sphere.
Hopefully, because we're going to have to go into the portal now to find your replacement.
That's right.
Again. Yeah, and this is big news. I'm going to have to text Kemper later, because I told him he should be on the search committee, but it said I got appointed to the search committee.
Absolutely. Breaking news again for those who may just have tuned in. Paul Swann was the first member named to the search committee, perhaps second after Chuck McGill, possibly.
Well,
but
he's head of it.
he's the head of it, yeah. But well,
he's a czar.
again, Paul Swann, part of the Sports Information Director Search Committee at Marshall University.
I can't wait to be sitting at the round table here, up elevated, just asking questions, yielding my time to
Sure.
Mr. McGill. I can't wait.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's going to be fun.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
Just a grill.
And again, I know people are hearing this and they're like, come on, guys, get over yourselves. But
No.
But again, and I cannot tell you how important that feedback is for anybody hearing this. How important that feedback is from media members to know what exactly we're trying to do and getting accomplished. And there's no better people to speak to that than the media themselves.
That's all we have time for. Come back soon. Next time you're in Huntington, come back
Absolutely.
soon. Open door always. Hopefully, Gaff will be talking about your impending recruitment for Chris Grassie's team. Looking forward to that. For Jason, for his wife Kim, keeping everybody in order, for Gaff, and for our producer Christian Palmer. I'm Paul Swann. This has been The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
WRBC Huntington, W231BS Huntington, broadcasting from the Oscars Breakfast Burgers and Brew Studios. This is ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.